are federal budget cuts affecting local government? We'll discuss that for the next few minutes. Hello and welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Candace Kelly and we are on location in our nation's capital for the National Association of Counties Legislative Conference. Joining me is Councilwoman Karen Toles of Prince George's County in Maryland. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, what's interesting is that a lot of people do not know the major federal cuts that will actually have an impact on the very small things that go on in their community. We hear about it in these large sweeping terms, but you work on a very local level and you have seen it over the past few years, the budget go down and down and down. Tell me a little bit about, first of all, the types of community development block grants that we're talking about affect your community specifically.
Sure, absolutely. Well, the community development block grants are a major contributor to our local government in terms of reducing blight, providing opportunities for low to moderate income families, but really also it gives us an opportunity to spur economic development in areas throughout not just this county, but really in this nation that ordinarily would not see the opportunity for economic development. And so community development block grants, what we call CDBG funds, has continued to be cut year after year after year, and they're talking more cuts. And so this will have a dramatic impact on programs like reentry programs, on programs like development, providing economic development in our communities, programs where we're helping children to be a part of, programs that they would not see in their school system or that the school system cannot pay for. And so this is dramatic cuts in our communities.
And you mentioned reentry programs, and you're talking about for those people reentering into the community.
Yes.
So making that transition obviously is a very big
yes.
part, and it plays a big role in helping people get back into the swing of things.
Yes, and then that's just one example of the way that community development block grants help. It has helped Prince George's County, but I know it has been used to help programs like that throughout this nation. And we fund one reentry program by $100,000 to provide opportunities for returning citizens, and that would be dramatically cut or eliminated if Congress do not act and continue to cut CDBG funding for local governments.
You sit on various boards where you make the decision where the money,
Yes.
once it's received, goes.
Yes.
Tell me, how do you make that decision, because there are so many needs of the community?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, first, for NACo, I sit on their Community Economic Development Steering Committee with my colleagues from all over this country. And so, we recently voted and we send resolutions to Congress to say we ask that you fund CDBG at this amount because local governments need it. And we recently asked for $3.3 billion. On the local level, I sit on our Transportation, Housing, and Environment Committee, which makes the decision. So I cast a vote as to which communities will be impacted in Prince George's County by CDBG funding. And so I'm well aware. I've been there for the last 3 years and having to make these tough decisions of who gets funded, who don't get funded, because we continue to get cut federally. So it impacts who we can really serve in the county. And so it really is a hard decision I've had to make over the last couple years. And then last year was really hard for my colleagues and I to make those cuts, but we had to do it.
And perhaps you might have to do it again.
Yes.
When you look at the things that have to go, I mean, are there community programs that, specifically just you cannot do without?
No, I think that our housing agency and my colleagues and I make a good decision. We try to be well-rounded. So there may be programs for education, there may be programs for reentry, there may be programs that we need to fund in this county and that we can't cut. So.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, too, for joining us. I'm Candace Kelly.